Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome each and every one of you to an introductory session of a Daniel Hayford's lecture series on an aspect of a nation-building course on the theme, the remarkable historical examples of successful nation-building projects, operations, or efforts around the globe. Dear friends of Daniel Hayford, there have been reports of several historical cases which demonstrate to a significant extent various successful nation-building projects, operations, or efforts which have resulted in the creation of considerably cohesive and comparatively prosperous nation-states worldwide. Some of such successfully built nation-states are on the continent of Africa, and others are found in some other continents around the globe. Two examples of those which are found on the continent of Africa are the Republic of Ghana and Botswana. Did you know today we know Ghana to be a republic in West Africa on the Gulf of Guinea, or with the Gulf of Guinea to her south in terms of her terrestrial boundary? You are already aware that Ghana is made up of several tribal and or ethnic groups who were once colonized by the British, and that the British named the territory the Gold Coast. On the 6th of March of the year 1957, the people gained political independence and set the nation on a path which was expected and required to lead to securing or gaining economic independence in addition to the political independence. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Republic of Ghana. For those of you who are critical and love details, you will prefer that I should say that Ghana is a republic in West Africa which consists of the previous colonies of the Gold Coast and Ashanti, and that she was a protectorate of the Northern Territories and the United Nations trusteeship of British Togoland, member of the Commonwealth of Nations since the year 1957. And you will also be glad should I mention that Ghana has a landmass of 91,843 square miles, or 237,873 square kilometers, and that its capital or administrative capital is Accra. My dear ladies and gentlemen, have you heard of the city named Accra before? And have you visited the city? Present your comments as a comment and share your experience in case you have paid a visit to the city of Accra. For those of you who love history that much, it should not be too much for you should I choose to add the fact that centuries before the creation of the Republic of Ghana, there was once an ancient kingdom called the Kingdom of Ghana. They said that the kingdom was an ancient or medieval Western African empire, which extended right from near the Atlantic coast and practically to Timbuktu. And that the Kingdom of Ghana actually flourished from around the 9th to the 12th centuries. Ladies and gentlemen, some authorities have indicated that the late Dr. Joseph Boachi Dankwa, or simply Dr. J.B. Dankwa, once reported that the modern-day Ghana should be named the Akan land, which in the Akan language could be referred to as Akan Asase or something like that. Of course, there were other suggestions, but the name Ghana was preferred over the others and was therefore chosen. It is possible that one day soon we will talk about the name Ghana in one of our great models. Stay tuned and in touch for more sessions of Daniel Hayford's lecture series. Dearest friends of Daniel Hayford, the other African country which has been adjudged eligible to be part of those considered to be most successful nation-building efforts is Botswana. Did you know the country name Botswana means land of the Tswana, and that means that the nation was actually named after the predominant ethnic group in Botswana. Nevertheless, it should be noted that the Constitution of the Republic of Botswana knows and recognizes only a homogeneous Tswana state. In other words, they are constitutionally recognized to be one people. This is to say that in spite of the fact that the name Botswana was in the beginning or originally or initially or at first applied to the Tswana, and which remains the case till today, the nation Botswana is one. In other words, the name Botswana is now employed normally as a demonym for all citizens of Botswana. Great. Did you know Botswana is a republic which is located in southern Africa? In the past, it was a protectorate of the Britain, but the people chose to gain independence in the year 1966 from the British. This was a year before the 10th anniversary of Ghana's political independence. Like the Republic of Ghana and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for example, the nation Botswana is a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. Botswana possesses a land area of approximately 275,000 square miles or 712,250 kilometers square. The capital city is Gaborone. My dear ladies and gentlemen, have you heard of Gaborone? And have you visited the place? Present your answer as a comment and share your experience in case you have paid a visit to Gaborone before. My dearest nation builders in the making, did you take note of the expression Botswana chose to gain independence in the year 1966? Ladies and gentlemen, I have used the action word or verb chose for the reason that people truly need to choose independence before they can secure their true independence. And when they gain independence, at least one, they must choose to live smart. Two, they must choose to work hard and smart enough to establish and sustain capacious factories and industries. Three, they must be innovative enough to advance technologically and in the creation of ever powerful institutions. Four, they must do such things consistently in order to maintain the integrity of their true independence. This is the reality whether the people in question, one, have never been colonized, two, they are currently colonized, and three, they were colonized and now appear to be free or are truly free. Did you hear that? Some countries or nations only appear to be independent. In reality, they are not independent, or they are only partly, partially, incompletely, or semi-independent. Indeed, the word independence in this context is comprehensive or absolute in nature. It covers political, economic, social, and cultural independence. We were once told that shortly before and at the time when Ghana gained her political independence as we know and have it today, and shortly after that, there were so many formally educated, formally uneducated, informally educated, and informally uneducated people who had the view that people of Gold Coast were not ready for independence. At the same time, there were so many formally educated and formally uneducated people, as well as informally educated and informally uneducated people who had the view that the people of Gold Coast were ready for independence. In other words, there were two schools. One school was independence within the shortest possible time, and the other was independence now. Ladies and gentlemen, does this not sound like free SHS now versus free SHS within the shortest possible time? Alas, anyway, in another module, we will do well to discuss the topic education and nation building. And at that time, we will address the real deal, free SHS now versus free SHS ... And when we organize a debate, it is possible that any of the two major political parties involved, namely the New Patriotic Party, NPP, and the National Democratic Congress, NDC, may win. In the meantime, we also know that the people of the then Gold Coast who opined that Gold Coast was ready for her independence prevailed, and therefore Ghana, our beloved country, was birthed. And she became free forever to choose to become economically independent in addition to the political independence. And the nation went on to begin her journey to gaining economic independence in a truly remarkable grand style. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier on, I indicated that some of the successfully built nations are located elsewhere, including Europe, America, and Asia. The cohesive and prosperous nation states which you can find in Asia, assuming you have not been there and you do not know of them, are Malaysia, Japan, Singapore, and South Korea. Others are Canada and the United States of America, which are located on the continent of North America, and Germany, which is found in Europe. Accordingly, this Daniel Hayford's lecture series, which is expected to be on an aspect of a nation-building course on the theme, the remarkable historical examples of successful nation-building projects, operations, or efforts around the globe, will be made up of 10 parts. Each part will cover one of the 10 reportedly successful nations. Now that you are a nation builder in the making, it would be good that we end each session with some of the key lessons, which you and I and some other people may learn from each of the nations under consideration. Feel free to follow DH Media GH, like each of the videos on the various sessions, share your thoughts, and present your comments, and share the video to friends in other universities in Ghana, other African countries, and the world at large. Be empowered for nation burden.